Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin and Cardano. We can see that the markets continue to recover a little bit in line with expectations. We talked about a little bit of a recovery before another sell-off and the potential for Bitcoin, for example, to move all the way up to 41.5K. Now let's take a look at the Bitcoin chart. Bitcoin still here in this wave C, within which we are in a wave 5. In my view, we completed, at least this is currently my view, this wave 4 up here, and we are already in this wave 5 in blue, which again consists of 5 waves. And this is how we can currently count it, which doesn't mean it needs to continue like that. It could still decide to go another way. There is still a potential that the wave 4 gets invalidated, or generally this pattern here in orange gets invalidated if the price is moving above 41.5K. That happens when the price moves into the price range of wave 1. Then this downturning or downtrending 5-wave structure gets invalidated. That is still possible, and in this case then we would still not have completed the wave 4, okay? But it's a bit too early to talk about that, because at the moment this one is not invalidated, and it is my primary expectation that from here now at any point we could turn around to the downside, maybe after a little bit more of a recovery towards 41.5K, but to be honest, we already nearly got there. If we take a look on the 1 hour chart, you will see that there was only a small wick, but we talked about in the last video this descending broadening wedge as a bullish pattern, and as a price target for this descending broadening wedge, you normally assume the beginning of the wedge. Where is the beginning of the wedge? It is, you can argue if it was here or if it was here, but 40.6K, I would say. This is here where it began, where the line goes through. And you can see that with one wick here, the price did move all the way up to 40.3, 40.4, so very, very close. I mean, maybe you can consider that already price target reached. Not exactly, it would need to move up a little bit more, but only a few $100, so we got very, very close. What is noteworthy is that the price has reacted very, very accurately to this price target area that I gave you when we were up down here. For the price target for a wave 4, it has absolutely nicely reacted to it. This price range is of course part of bound by two Fibonacci levels. So we've got here the 0.382 Fib level at 38.4 and the 0.5 Fib level at 39.6. So anything within this is within the highest likelihood of a wave 4. It can go above it. It would not invalidate the wave 4. It would just get less likely that it's still a wave 4. But it can go all the way up to 41.5K and still be in this pattern, okay? Because only then you get into the price range of the wave 1. Now, what I find very interesting and noteworthy as well, it's basically you can observe here what I already mentioned in the last video, that if we now get another high, but the price is struggling to push much higher, you will see here, for example, on the 1 hour chart, a bearish divergence, And this for me looks all very, very corrective. You see these overlaps, not good. Not good in terms of if you expect a bull run, but for us, if we expect a move down in a final wave 5, then this is actually what we want to see, because you see a bearish divergence, which means you make lower highs here on the RSI, but you make actually higher highs on the price chart. But that just indicates that the price is losing momentum, and that we could see here the price follow the RSI shortly, which means that we would move into a situation where we'll see lower highs, for example, on the price chart again. So this is currently only on the 1 hour chart, but it is something to keep in mind. And as you can see here, we already have a bearish crossover on the 1 hour MACD as well, indicating further downside potential. How does the 4 hour chart look like? Well, on the 4 hour chart, yes, we also have here a slight bearish divergence. You can see it here if I zoom in. Well, you can see that we have this high here on the RSI, and the next one is a lower high, even though with this wick the price actually made a higher high. So also here you see a slight bearish divergence, not too clear, but it is one. And also here on the MACD, it's now losing the buying momentum again. So also this would tell me that we can possibly expect here a move down, okay? That we have pushed up as far as we can. For now at least. Now we need to see how the daily though develops. I mean, on the 4 and the 1 hour chart, we can already see that it is pushing down. On the daily, we can still see that the selling momentum is decreasing, and we might see here a bullish crossover. But if we see it already on the lower time frames going the other way, then this could translate into the daily here in the next, maybe today, tomorrow, where you will then see again decreasing momentum and or increasing selling momentum, and it could push down further. You know, on the daily RSI, we are still in the bearish range, and this candle here of the current day doesn't look bullish at all. Yeah, you can see how it pushed high all the way to that resistance level, and the 50-day moving average here at 40.3, 40.4K was rejected. Yeah, so that does not look too bullish. And if we go to the 4-day chart, that is what we mentioned before. This is critical, that 4-day chart. If you really get a bullish cross here on the 4-day chart, that could, if it happens, could be a buy signal. Yeah, but we are still away from that. It hasn't happened yet. It hasn't happened yet. In that scenario, we need to keep an eye on that. If we see that, and that could become a buy signal, especially on the 4-day chart, then certainly the price could have a chance to move above this 41.5K level and invalidate this descending trend line, this descending wave count. But it's too early to say that. Primarily, I would expect that from here we are turning around to the downside, but we need to acknowledge, need to keep an eye on this very clear 41.5K level. If that gets broken, it gets more likely that we move higher. And if then the 46.5 get broken, then we suddenly unlock an alternative scenario that I talked about in a previous video as well. And I'll mention that again when we get closer to this possible scenario. At the moment though, my primary expectation would be that we're turning around here again further to the downside after a little bit of a recovery that we already saw, that we're now heading further down, okay? For Cardano, we also saw a bit of a recovery, 91 cents. We talked about this as well as moving up a little bit together with Bitcoin and the potential to retest the resistance line here of that descending wedge. If I zoom out, you can see the descending wedge here in orange. Now it hasn't quite reached that descending wedge resistance line yet, but it got close here with 92, 93 cents. That one is at 97, but here at 92 cents, we had previous support as well. That was this wick that was coming down here. So that is what it was struggling with. And however, anything that is currently coming up here for Cardano is also not convincing. My primary expectation remains that we are going to see here lower levels, and that the Cardano price is going to move into this target range between 30 and 55 cents. That would be very much in line with what I expect for Bitcoin as well, which would be a move down into the target range between 20 and 29K. Looks a little bit different here. Also the momentum on the 1 hour chart. There is no bearish divergence on the ADA chart, so that could still push up a little bit higher, but also here the MACD is losing buying momentum and could also cross bearish, which would then indicate a little bit of a move down. It is only the 1 hour chart, so bear that in mind. Let's go to the 4 hour chart. Here, I think there is still further potential for further recovery. I mean, the 4 hour chart is more meaningful than the 1 hour chart, more clearly than, for example, Bitcoin. ADA has moved here into the bullish range above 50, and we can also see buying momentum still increasing on the 4 hour MACD. That could actually indicate that we see a little bit further upside, possibly here to the, as I said, the 97 cent level, the resistance line of that descending wedge. And on the daily chart, we can also see it would support that, because here as well we might see a bullish crossover, but we haven't seen it yet. If you see that play out, as I said the last time, the price did move up here. That was from $1 to $1.25. Nothing too crazy, but yeah, it did. And the one time before that, it moved from $1 to $1.60. So unless we see here a move above previous highs and then also a higher low. For me, the downtrend isn't over, so that's the very important message. I would primarily have to expect still lower prices because we just have not seen a confirmation that the downtrend is over. In the same situation for Bitcoin, also here we haven't really seen higher lows. I mean, here this last low anyway is again a series of lower lows within this descending broadening wedge. Yes, the price broke above it, but it's not really a clean retest yet, and we've got that bearish divergence on the 1 hour chart. I'm not convinced by what is happening here in this wave 4 target area, so therefore I would expect us to break here further to the downside and move at some point here further down. But it's not off the table that yeah, the price could even push higher here all the way up to 41.5k in the same scenario. That's my view here on Bitcoin and Cardano. Hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please smash the like button and subscribe. And if you really like the content, check out the channel membership for access to the Telegram live chat, for access to the Discord server with lots of additional content, my own buy and sell orders, my HODL portfolio, also for gold members now, some analysis about stocks and shares, and just a great community, and then also a weekly live stream. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.